Welcome back. Maybe a bit of a hangover for the folks who are up in Martha's Vineyard this weekend after President Obama's big bash. The birthday festivities kicked off Friday night, where the former president welcomed guests at a local restaurant, followed by Saturday's big party at the former president's $12 million vacation home. The former president there seen dancing maskless in a video posted by Erykah Badu, the singer-songwriter. It was then deleted after she was told to do so. One staff member telling the Daily Mail that between 300 to 400 people were in attendance. So much for scaling things back. I guess, if you're going to have 700, technically scaled back a little bit. But the party didn't end there. The festive former president continued the celebration on Sunday with a brunch at a seafront restaurant in Martha's Vineyard. You can see the pictures here. Brunching hard, not a care in the world, cameras around, no masks anywhere to be seen. But yet, everybody, you're supposed to do your thing, right? Mask up. Now, a New York Times reporter going on CNN also defended the big blowout. Here she is.
This is really being overblown. They're following all the safety precautions. People are going to sporting events that are bigger than this. This is going to be safe. This is a sophisticated, vaccinated crowd, and this is just about optics. It's not about safety.
Oh, a sophisticated, vaccinated crowd. What does that mean exactly? Let's welcome in now our panel to talk more about this. Attorney and a former assistant administrator at the Small Business Administration, Sari Sibolowski. Also with us, Ari Hoffman, host of the Ari Hoffman Show on KVI 570 in Seattle, and Bianca De La Garza back with us as well. Yeah, Bianca, first to you. Sophisticated, vaccinated people. I don't care how sophisticated you are. The CDC still says if you're vaccinated, you can still transmit COVID. So this was a New York Times reporter. What'd you take away from her take on all this?
Okay, well, first of all, I actually kind of like that this came out there, okay? I like that it came out, she's saying that it's a sophisticated crowd, because it's really what they do believe, okay? Let's look at this and let's look at the facts. It was not scaled back, and it is irresponsible to have such a big gathering when we're all supposed to be so concerned about the Delta variant, right? Especially coming from a 60-year-old former president. Optics or not, if we're told to trust the science and we're told to wear masks and we're told to mask indoors, and what's going on here even outdoors. So I think that there's a lot of things we can look at here, but they're on an island. Of course, they're A-listers, they're Hollywood elite. They are not us. They don't care if your business got shut down during COVID and you've lost your business. They don't care that you can't vacation with your family this year because you have no money because of all the rules that were forced upon millions of Americans. The bottom line is, this is a world only for them. Unless you have a private jet like John Kerry, you cannot access it unless it was on Instagram. And I want to know why these photos were leaked, because in reality, if they really didn't want any images out there, John, all they had to do was take the cameras at the door, put them in lockers like a lot of people do. So I think the fact they're flaunting this and people really can read about this party and the aftermath is somewhat discouraging for people to really know that they don't care about the regular American folk who cannot afford a birthday bash like this ever in their entire lives, but especially not after what's transpired in our country the past year and a half.
Your last point there reminds me of the tweet that I saw from Valerie Jarrett last Friday, Sari, and this was like the icing on the cake on everything, where you have all the rich and famous and Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, and they're all there in Martha's Vineyard, but Valerie Jarrett can still send out a tweet to us little folks out there asking people to chip in and contribute to the Obama Presidential Library. So you can't come to the party, of course, even though we're having hundreds of people there. But Sari, if you really want to be part of this birthday celebration, you can still contribute. You can still help build this library. What do you think of that?
Well, gosh, I feel like I should just give them my entire life savings. Thank goodness I don't rely on either the New York Times or certainly not Chrissy Teigen and Valerie Jarrett to give me my sense of morality. But the number one issue at stake right now is that rules should matter irrespective of your title and irrespective of your status. But what President Biden and President Obama have very clearly shown is that rules only apply to Republicans, to conservatives, to people who aren't rich. And I think that's demonstrably unfair. And,
the hypocrisy, thanks to Twitter, always on full display sometimes. And tweets that didn't age well. I'll take this one for the Daily Double, Alex. Here's from John Legend and Chrissy Teigen. They were among the celebrities, of course. But here's John Legend's tweets. Being unvaccinated and or unmasked at a large indoor gathering is like literally begging to get COVID. Please don't do that to yourself, your family, or your neighbors. I really hope that John Legend does not get COVID to prove this point. But, again, there's already all this, shame going on unvaccinated people. Again, when, that's not telling the whole story, unless you're John Legend, of course.
I'm going to slightly disagree with my co-panelists here for a minute and say former President Obama is doing exactly what all of us should be doing. If you have the vaccine, if you've gotten the virus, you can go and enjoy yourself at a huge gathering. And he's modeling that for everybody. So I don't know why we're ripping on that. In fact, we should be supporting it and say, why do our kids need to be wearing masks in schools? Why are certain cities considering lockdowns again? Why are we considering vaccine mandates? Because so many people already have the vaccine. If you've done the risk assessment already and said you don't want it, that's on you. So we should actually be thanking the former president for showcasing how we can go back to normal and live our lives and how our kids don't have to wear masks in schools.
On one day, they're telling us, shame on you for doing exactly what we're going to do, and the next day they do it themselves. Let's switch gears here. Actually, I want to play another soundbite, one more. This one is from Dr. Fauci. Not concerned here, Bianca, about President Obama's birthday party, but he had something else in mind he wanted to criticize. Here he is.
I mean, you're going to ultimately be able to do that in the future, but let's get this pandemic under control before we start acting like nothing is going on. I mean, something bad is going on. I mean, we've got to realize that.
But he was talking specifically about a South Dakota motorcycle rally.
Yeah.
But no condemnation for the Obama. Something bad is happening, Bianca, but not at President Obama's birthday party.
But again, we have to go back to, isn't this sort of a class war? That's warfare going on here. They're not sophisticated in some people's eyes, okay? But to many people, Sturgis is something that they love to enjoy and have missed out on maybe last year, and they're out there to enjoy it. So who are we as Americans to call one group of people because they can afford a certain status to live on a $12 million home on a private island, that they're sophisticated? They're not. I think it totally lifts the veil, and so many people are waking up, John, which I think is the most important thing out of all of this. Whether Ari says we should be thanking or whether or not we're sitting here saying they're a bunch of hypocrites, we're talking about it. And they need to know we're talking about it. And people who are in office, the voters are watching your every move here. And, to serve your constituents means to be listening to them.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.